Well, I'm Grover, and you're Catherine, the Waldons, and let's see, we've been married 40 years and dated for 8 years before that, and been together since.
We grew up in Bakersfield, and Grover went to North High, I went to Highland High School. We met in youth group at our church. Josh was our firstborn, and Trevor is our second. It was fun raising them because they were very close in age. When the kids were younger, we did a lot of things with our church family, camping, and our annual trip to our church camp at Calvin Crest, which was a lot of fun. The boys enjoyed that. And Grover's family has property up in the hills in Glenville, California. So we now have a ranch house there. And so the kids have grown up working at the ranch, working the cows, riding quads, used to ride horses, hunting.
Tried to give them as broad of experience as possible.
On my free time, I like to hang out and just chill and go to the ranch. We cut wood and stuff. We have a quad over there.
We had several people that attended our church that were involved in special education. So when Trevor was first in the nursery, there were several people that knew that there was something that he wasn't following the milestones that were appropriate. So when he went to kindergarten, we realized, oh my gosh, he really is different from all of the other kids. So we immediately started every test we could. We went down and we just wanted to make sure that we were doing everything possible to make him be able to learn as well as best as he could. And testing after testing, and I would say that around 12 or so, he really expressed to us that he was tired of being tested. And at that point, it was like, okay, this is where we are, and it's fine. And we're gonna just do what we can to help him be as successful as possible. I would say elementary school for Trevor, he was in a traditional school in our school district, and it was frustrating for him. We pulled him out of traditional school, and he ended up going to a private one-room school called June Esther School of Achievement, and that is where he really flourished because his teacher, Miss Laster, who ran the school, felt that each child can learn differently, and they can learn. They just have to find the right way to help them. And so he did learn. Then we were concerned that when he got to high school, it was scary. So for 1 year, we moved him back to the school district his 8th grade year, where he reconnected with some of his friends.
I think Josh and his then girlfriend and now wife, Ashley, really did pave the way in terms of both of them were very popular and well-liked and involved in sports, and we went to all those activities, and so Trevor was pretty well known around the campus even before he got there, and then once he got there, he really did have a great experience.
Then we started trying to think, oh my gosh, here we're getting close to him graduating. What is he going to do? So that's when we started looking around for the various programs. We looked at all of them, and there just was not a program that suited Trevor. There were not Christian programs at the time, and there weren't strictly enrichment programs. We have a dear friend who was a professor at Fresno State at the time, so she showed us some programs up in Fresno, and they were doing things like with computers and job training that was different than the way they were doing it here in Bakersfield, enrichment programs. So she just said, you guys need to start your own program. And we're like, oh my gosh, there's no way, I'm not qualified. He doesn't have the time. And so we just were challenged by her. And that's at the same time, that's when Pastor Jeff started doing that series about God using ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And if you feel there's a need in your community, well, why not? Why wouldn't you be the person to make it happen?
After looking at the programs that were here and us really wanting to provide an environment which ultimately turned out to be enrichment programs like cooking and music and dance and art and Bible study and community service, that we wanted a place where folks could drop in and get the experiences they wanted. And so through lots of prayer and lots of encouragement, we decided really it was just the right thing to do.
Our faith community, our church family, knew our heart, and they knew that we were wanting to do something. So they've been praying for us since the beginning. And we were blessed with some seed money. My gosh, we can do this for a year. Let's do it. So as we talked, we realized, let's the four of us, Carrie and Mike and Grover and I, let's go to dinner, because he knew our heart. He knew that we were wanting to start something as well.
We were invited over to sit down with them and some other friends of theirs and really just discuss what the possibilities were with regard to developing a program, seeking my input from what I had experienced being in the field for a few years at that time, and then really trying to come up with a plan or a direction for them to go from that point on.
Well, when we first opened the doors, it was so exciting. What?
We opened with 3: Trevor, Waldon, Mary Skidmore, and Jacob Brown. And they were just a blessing, like everyone else opening something new. We were anxious about it, excited about it, nervous about it. It's just been tremendous. They're there every week for an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever, whether it's leading Bible studies or leading ballroom dance or other parts of the enrichment program, simply because they've developed a heart for it and are just so loyal and committed. It's wonderful to watch.
Trevor and I met at a golf tournament for Abel, and about 12 years ago at Seven Oaks Country Club. And Trevor, I remember I was late and I was carrying my bag, and Trevor greeted me there, and it was probably the warmest greeting I ever received. It stuck with me. And at the time, I didn't know Trevor, and so later on, I received a phone call.
Grover called Ted and said, "Hey, I hear you met Trevor," and he goes, "Yes, I did." He goes, "I want him to come work for me at Three-Way Chevrolet."
Shortly thereafter, we put things together and brought Trevor on as a team member here at Three-Way Chevrolet Company.
Trevor utilized job coaches through New Options, and Mike Butler was the owner of New Options.
So I have known Trevor for about 12 years, and I met him because he was a client at my dad's organization, New Options LLC, and I was still a kid when he first arrived. So I met him through just coming and visiting my dad at work, and then as time went on, I started working there. I became a coach, and I coached him a couple times.
Initially, he was greeting customers, just telling them, welcoming them, and he did a really great job at it. So we've tried over the years, 11 now that he's been with us, to expand his horizons and allow him to see what we do.
Trevor has progressed so much. We went from him really being heavily reliant on a success coach to really guide him and hold his hand through the process, to now where the coach is able to pull away significantly.
So he's worked in many areas. You may see him on the showroom floor, you may see him out on the lot making sure that it's clean in that, or you might even find him in the parts department.
It's been really wonderful to watch him grow significantly, and even just like in his attitude at work and his positivity towards his work has grown significantly as well.
He's truly a treasure, and we're thankful to have him on our team.
I think it's life-changing, honestly, just as it is for every single one of us who receive a job and who have something that we can pour into and give back to our community in.
Those things come about for people who have or are looked upon as having valued social roles. Are they contributing members of their community? Are they accepted and allowed to interact with the rest of community?
And I think that it can truly transform an individual's life, their way of carrying themselves, their way of thinking.
The greater the social role that an individual has, or the more valued that a social role is, the more likely that they're going to be really offered the what we call the good things in life.
I look at Trevor and I can see that he has a reason to get up in the morning. And the satisfaction I hope that he derives from that, I think all people need. Everybody. That's it.
There was interaction from the very beginning between New Options and Independence of Grace Foundation, just from a consultation type of a relationship. But then it became a little bit further than that as they got further into the process and began to dream bigger dreams.
2-3 years into the enrichment program, it became evident that there's so much more we can do. But I knew that Mike could do it and Bailey could do it.
I think that was really the first time that they began to go, hey, how can we partner with New Options? How can we make these things work together? And so we really did begin to kind of examine those ideas and seek ways that we could partner.
Man, maybe we could be better together than apart.
Bailey had taken really day-to-day operations while I was doing ministry, and her and Catherine really began to connect, and it was from that relationship that ultimately the merger of the three organizations really came about.
Now we're together and
Together all under one roof?
Under one roof, and there's so much more we want to do. We could not do Independence of Grace without our volunteers and the generous people who give to us. Every time, I don't know why I'm shocked every time, but because we don't do fundraising for a living, and so it's just people give out of the generosity of their heart, and it's so meaningful to us. And so our people who support us with their prayers, with their time and their money, it is what makes Independence Through Grace what it is today.
We see just such dramatic differences. We see parents that come to us and go, wow, my child, I never dreamed that they could do this. And just the difference in them is so dramatic because you believed in them, because you treated them like an adult, because you treated them like someone of value. And that's really our focus here is we emphasize treating an individual that has IDD as a valued member of the community, because that's what they are. That's what they are in God's eyes. That's what they are in our eyes. And that's what we want them to be and to feel.
Grace doesn't only impact the participants that come, but it impacts their family members and their friends and their employers, and it just continues to ripple on out.
It's just getting back to our beliefs in Christ Jesus. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of individuals that live with us and we live together that need help, and they need an opportunity to participate.
Thank you so much to all of our donors. We are in the place that we are because of you, and we could not do the things that we do without you.
The money that is donated to our program is well spent, focused on helping people become more independent, and hopefully having some of them actually earn an income, and eventually they'll be working on their own, our hope. So I would say that giving to ITG Foundation is a gift that is used well.
We can't do it without our donors. To those who are maybe looking for a worthy cause, I just encourage you to come and take a look and talk to us, talk to the individuals who are involved in ITG to see the differences between what they were like before having the opportunities that they've been given through ITG and what their personality is like and their character is like after having been given the opportunities that they're given.
You are part of our story.
You're part of our story.
I just want to say you are a part of our story.
You are a part of our story.
Is that too dorky? Shall we do it again? What do you want to say? Do you want us to point?
No. No, I'm not pointing.
Okay, ready? Okay.
You are part of our story.